a now former Wiltshire Police Inspector, has pleaded guilty to possession of extreme images involving bestiality. Ian Stephenson was due to stand trial at Gloucester Crown Court after being accused of having 144 of the sickening images between 2012 and 2020. But after asking the judge what sentence he might be given, he changed his plea to guilty. Now you might well be asking why he would consider a guilty plea at this stage rather than defending himself at trial. Well, that's because the judge told him that he planned to impose a simple community order rather than sending him to jail, whereas if he went to trial and he was found guilty, his sentence would have had to have been more harsh. Now, the gov.uk website states that you may get a community sentence if you're convicted of a crime by a court but are not sent to prison. You may have to do unpaid work in your local community, like removing graffiti. This is called community payback. Community sentences can be given for crimes such as damaging property, theft or assault. You may get a community sentence if the court thinks you're more likely to stop committing crime than if you go to prison, it's the first time you have committed a crime, or you have a mental health condition that affects your behaviour. There's something wrong with this explanation here on the website. There we go, that's much better. Alan Williams, defending Ian Stephenson, told the court that the basis of the guilty plea was the images were found on a device on which Stephenson had clicked on a link to them more than once rather than deleting them straight away. Prosecutor Christopher Smythe told the court that Stephenson was not a man of entirely good character, having been convicted of assaulting 2 police constables who arrested him in relation to another police inquiry. Stephenson was at the time conditionally discharged and ordered to pay £250 to each of the police constables that he assaulted. Stephenson's defence, Alan Williamson, argued that Stephenson's 30 years in the police service should be taken into account and be reflected in his sentence. And I agree. The fact he was a copper for 30 years but still committed the offence should be taken into account, and he should be sentenced as a person who had no excuse for not knowing it was a criminal offence but did it anyway, and should be sentenced to far more than a fucking community order. The court has been adjourned until the 6th of April for a pre-sentence report, which will likely rely heavily on the fact that Stephenson won a Police Bravery Award in 2018. But personally, I would say they need to take into account that he was looking at bestiality during the same period, which in my opinion completely destroys any reliance on the so-called bravery defence. Anyway, I will bring you updates when they are available.